Okay, so now the next question is on wages. Across the peninsula, cities are considering raising the minimum wage, given the mounting economic pressure and affordability crisis. In 2015, San Francisco raised its minimum wage to $12.25. Then this past July to $13. San Francisco will be up to $15 in 2018. On August 15, the city of San Mateo passed an ordinance that would begin raising the minimum wage in January to $12 and then annually to $15 an hour by 2019 and further adjusted in 2020. The minimum wage in Daly City was $9 in 2015 and now rests at $10 since this past January. However, in April, the governor signed a law raising the state minimum wage to $10.50 starting January, eventually getting to $15 in 2022. Question: should Daly City wait to follow the state law or consider a faster timeline to raise the wages of our community's lowest paid workers? What effect do you believe your preferred timeline might have on Daly City? We'll start with Juslyn Manalo.
Daly City should consider a faster timeline to raise the minimum wage for the community. Although that is an effort in the state level by 2019 and 2020, I think City Council must take an active approach to see if this is feasible before then.
Thank you. Mr. Glenn Sylvester.
Being the proxy for Senator Mark Leno, I'm proud that he authored this initiative before it went to the governor's office as Senate Bill 53. Raising the minimum wage, should the city follow the state law? I say no. When should we, Daly City, do it? Tomorrow. If you take that $15 per hour and you multiply it out, you get $28,800. That's still not enough, folks. We need to act immediately in raising the minimum wage for our workers here, and so that they can live a better life. Who knows, maybe even a single parent has to live on $28,000 a year. It couldn't come any faster, folks. Tomorrow, we would need to raise that. No fooling around. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Braxton Lethco.
So people often bring up raising the minimum wage, and I know we talked about raising it to like 18 and things like that, and I feel like we cannot do that. We cannot raise the minimum wage faster than San Francisco, even the state of California. Raising the minimum wage faster, especially than the rate of inflation, has a high cost. We need to maintain an economic advantage to our city. I don't know that jobs, let's say we raised our minimum wage to $18 an hour, I don't think that jobs would run away like a lot of anti-raising minimum wage people would pitch, but it would label our business as an anti-business city, okay? And right away, that would stop us from bringing in new businesses or sustainable businesses into the city. So if we're talking about a living wage, we need to raise the minimum wage to $40 an hour. It's something that it's not realistic. Okay, so as far as that goes, what we need to do is reinvest in the rising generation so that they can support our city, so that they're not fighting for minimum wage jobs.
Ms. Gabriella Makstman.
Daly City is home to many small businesses just trying to survive, just like you and I. It's not just Starbucks and Target that employ here, and it's important to make sure that those businesses can survive and continue to provide jobs here. I've talked to countless business owners about this issue, and they've all agreed that if Daly City were to increase the timeline, that they'd be forced to close up shop or raise their prices, which will basically mean that those $15 are just as worthless as they were before. And I don't want either. And if they're exempt, then they'll have a hard time recruiting employees. So it's a really complicated issue. And I don't think you can just say, let's raise it tomorrow, because there are other players involved. There are a lot of businesses that employ people here and pay them minimum wage. If you had to pay them all of a sudden $50,000 more a year, they wouldn't be able to afford that extra employee part-time. So it's something that needs to be addressed holistically and realistically. And I would do
That's
that if I'm in
time.
charge.